But joining us right now on the show, hey, if you've been, listening to the show, watching the show for any period of time, this is one of my favorite people, not just in media, but in life. The insanely talented Sal Licata, who's doing an amazing job right now covering national sports, New York sports on his YouTube page, at Sal_Licata on social media. My friend, welcome back to the show. What's going on? Good to have you.
I got to tell you, dude, I miss you. You were one of the first people to have me on after I was no longer with the Fan, and we had some fun chopping it up. I see you doing your thing, which I love, always informing me on the national stuff, whether it's the college hoops or the NFL draft. So I appreciate you asking me on, but I do miss doing some shows with you when we would have you on regularly on the Fan.
Well, just to say this, not to throw you onto the bus at all here, but, had you on the show a couple times and, you reached out once upon a time, like maybe a month ago, hey, want to get you on the show, on your show. And I'm like, yeah, like I will move heaven and hell. Like my daughter doesn't even have to sleep through the night. I will do anything, Sal, to appear on your show. And then what do I get from Sal Licata? Crickets.
No, that is not. No.
I'm kidding.
I genuinely feel bad because I wanted you on. I'm like, I need to get Kostos on because of the way that it is with my schedule, with my producer schedule. There are limited times to tape, and then I know you're busy, so I was like, you know what? Instead of pushing the envelope, let me just not bother Nick. Let him do his thing.
You don't bother me. Come on, man. Like other people bother me.
I know, but
most people bother me. You don't bother me.
I know what it's like.
Most people do bother me.
I know what it's like to be asked to do this stuff when you have your own show and then when you have your home life. So like for me, am I going to ask him to do it before his show? Can't really do that. Am I going to ask him to take time away from his wife and kid? I hate to do that. That's a good point.
What would I rather do? Talk sports with you or change a poopy diaper? It's not even close. Like have my wife ask me why. The true story. Why like the current complaint in my house, and to be clear, like I love my wife dearly, is that my feet are too heavy when I walk up and down the stairs and it makes too much noise. Like would I rather, I'm about to ask you about Dexter Lawrence and the Giants. Would I rather talk about you with that or defend like the speed at which the velocity at which my feet hit the stairs making too much noise?
Hey, I don't care how many
let's do it, buddy.
I don't care how many bets you win. There's no winning at home when it comes to I lose every time. Every time it's a loss.
Is it just let's talk about marriage for a second. Sal happily married, me happily married. Isn't it funny how like marriage is kind of like the great equalizer, right? In a way where, like we have these front-facing jobs where, we get told, and like not all the time, there are certainly detractors and haters of both of us and anyone that does what we do for a living. But like a lot of what we do, we get told that we're great and like people like really like what we do and like we feel like we're successes and you puff the chest out and then you go home and you are last in your house. Right. You are last on the hierarchy at home.
It just doesn't matter. You get beaten down. I'm going to give you a quick story, and I think you'll enjoy this. So you know that, like, I met Jerry Seinfeld. He invited me to a game, to a Met game. You heard about that story or no?
Not only did I hear about the story,
okay,
but I really, so just again, like Sal is a friend. I really wanted to like call you and get all the details on this, but I'm like, in the same way that you're like, I don't want to bother you, because I want to ask you about 1,000 different questions about this. So just before you get to like the crux of the story, like don't do the Seinfeld bit and yada, 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 your friendship with Jerry Seinfeld. So we need a little bit on that first before you get to how it impacted your home life.
Okay, well, I was doing a bit on the podcast, on my YouTube channel, podcast, whatever, being like, Seinfeld must not like me. I've never heard from him. I've been at the Fan forever. I've been on SNY for 15 years. I see he follows other people that are in the media. He must not like me. That night, he starts following me on Instagram. I'll tie both stories in here for you. So when he starts following me on Instagram, who's the first person that I'm telling? It's a Friday night. I'm on the couch with my wife watching TV. Who's the first person I tell? My wife. Oh, my God, Jerry Seinfeld started following me on Instagram. And she looks at me like, so? I'm like,
it's unreal, dude.
I'm like, do you realize how much of a big deal this is with Jerry Seinfeld? He's like the big, like, for me, it gets no better than that. He's also, by the way, one of the most famous comedians ever in the world. He's had the most successful TV show ever. And she's just like, no selling it. Like, okay, great. Like, what does that mean? So now, and then the conversation goes, so I start talking to Jerry about, I'm like, thanks for the follow. I'm glad you don't hate me. He's like, why would you think that? And then we just start talking Mets. One thing leads to another. I tell him I'm going to be at spring training in 2 weeks. He's like, I'm going to be there too. Why don't we meet up? Seinfeld's now telling me He wants to meet up. I can't believe this. I'm not saying anything to anybody because I don't know how it's going to go when we get there. I don't see him on the field pregame. I send him a message. Hey, I'm here. What section? I'll come say hello. He says the section. We have an extra ticket. Now I go sit with Seinfeld. We sit together for the whole game. Him and his friends were hanging out. We go up to the owner's suite because of rain. All this great stuff. Then, I come home, I'm not even thinking about it. I tell some of my friends about this stuff. I tell some stories on my own podcast, Jimmy Trainer's podcast, Stu Gott's podcast, whatever. Same way I'm telling you some of this stuff here. Then Newsday, I'm telling Newsday the story. And I tell my wife, hey, you should go check out Newsday. They wrote a nice article. She sees it, and there's a huge picture of me and Seinfeld. First thing she says is, you met Seinfeld and you didn't tell me? I was like, one, I thought that I did tell you just because I was telling everybody. Two, you didn't care.
Of course you told her. Yeah.
You didn't care when I told you that he followed me. You didn't care. I didn't think it was a big deal to tell you that I met him. So she was mad at me. When I first told her she didn't care, then she was mad at me for not telling her when she saw my picture in the paper with Seinfeld. Can't win.
So on the Seinfeld thing, right, which is, first off, was he cool?
Great guy. It was me hanging out with his friend. And remember, he's getting mobbed here by a bunch of people too in the stand.
And a gigantic Mets fan, and you're a Mets fan also, so you have that in common, obviously.
Legitimate Mets fan. And that was my favorite part about this. And we talked about it. Obviously, I was talking some other things with him. We were talking about my career, obviously his career. I wasn't pestering too much, but it was just more four dudes watching a Mets game talking about the Mets and Alonso and the new moves and all those different things. So he couldn't have been better, just hanging out watching a baseball game.
Are you and Jerry Seinfeld friends?
I wouldn't go that far, although I will say that I think if I wanted to continue a conversation, I've left him alone. I'm trying to play this cool. You know what I mean?
I have a follow-up question based off what you just said in a moment, but please continue.
So I wouldn't consider us friends, but I mean, you tell me. We sat at a baseball game together for a whole game
You're
together,
friends.
even though it was rainstorm. I mean, we sat at a game. I haven't even sat at a baseball game with you together. I've known you for a long time. So we sat at the Andrew Dice Clay concert. But I can you sit at a baseball game with somebody for an entire baseball game and not be considered friends?
So I think what's so funny about this, right? And this, we're both, as we've said, we're both married, right? But, and you've been married longer than me. But, in my single days, what you were saying about DMing Jerry and I don't know how this is going to go. I don't want to put words in your mouth, but it sounds to me like when when a man courts a woman and you're DMing a girl, you're texting a girl, right? And you want it to go a certain way and you don't know how it's going to go. Now, obviously this is a platonic friendship. There's nothing romantic here with you, and not that there's anything wrong with that.
Yeah.
That's not bad. When you're texting or DMing Jerry, did it feel like you were trying to take a woman out on a date? You're probably texting being I hope I get this type of response. You're probably waiting for the bubbles to pop up. Is he writing? Take us through that.
It's a great analogy. And remember, the difference from 26-year-old or even 36-year-old, I forget what age I got married, but the difference between single 26-year-old Sal or 30-year-old Sal from 46-year-old Mary Sal is the discipline and experience in these type of things. If I had this much discipline back then, I would have really been cleaning up. So I know how to handle these situations. I wasn't going to, I think majority of people in this spot would have been, oh my God, Jerry, want to come on my podcast? And I did nothing of the sort. So it was just strictly, and that's exactly what I did. And we were just talking Mets. I wasn't wanting anything from it. The fact that I already got a response from him.
Yes, you were.
The fact that
were wanting something from it. Who wouldn't?
The fact that but think about it, Nick. The main thing was a response. So once I got that, an acknowledgement, oh wow, he followed me, he knows who I am, and now we're talking. For me, that's already a win, and I'm good. And that's the way that I was handling it, talking about just baseball. I didn't ask him to hang out. I would never I would have eventually asked him to come on my podcast, probably, right? That would have been the play eventually.
Come on. Yeah, of course.
Eventually,
absolutely.
I still never did, but eventually that would have been the play. And then it led to him, the way I played it with a disciplined style, just talking about, it led to him asking me to hang out, which is incredible. So yes, I played that the right way, unlike many times before as a single young adult.
how much money would I have to Venmo you right now? And like, whether to text or whatever your method of communication is, to message Jerry Seinfeld and be like, "Do you ever talk to Kramer?" ?
I can't do that because that's exactly. I will say, like, that's what people kept asking, like, do you talk about the show?
How much money would I have to give you to say? Because like he would see that and be like, I can never talk to this guy again, right?
Exactly. I'm not burning that relationship with some dumb question.
$10,000.
Oh, by the way, Jerry,
$10,000.
Well, I mean, that might work. That I'm out of a job, so that might work. I could use some cash. Well, that was the other thing too. It's like, yeah, great. I hung out with Seinfeld for a game. It didn't change my life. Like, I still come back. I'm still like, all right, well, what now? I got the mortgage to pay. I'm looking for a job. Like, yeah. So it was a great experience, though. You would have loved it. He's a great dude.
I mean, you played it cooler than me. I would have been like, like in the contest episode, like that, to tell me what happened behind the scenes. You played it way cooler than me. You bet on this Thursday. Sal Licata is my guest. You'll be with you're hosting Stu Gotz's show tonight, right, on Fox Sports Radio?
Yeah, my return to radio just so happened. He's going to be out today, and I got asked to fill in to host. So I'll be hosting Stu Gotz and Company on Fox Sports Radio today, 3 to 5 Eastern time. So that'll be my official return to radio.
Well, I mean, this is how much I love you. Is that like they're a competitor of ours, and I'm promoting it for you just because I love you.
I wasn't going to bring that up. I appreciate that very much. I wasn't going to bring it up because I understand the competitive thing, but I appreciate that.
I always say this, and I mean this sincerely. Like, there's more than enough of a pie and money out there for all of us to make some. I hope you crush it. I know that you will. All right, let's try and that's. That
yeah, I mean, who you give us to Pat Boyle? Pat Boyle or Sal Licata? I mean, come on.
Pat and Sal are friends, obviously, from their time in New York. I think. Do you?
Yeah. No, he asked me to go on his show. He's like, oh man, you want to come on my show? I'm like, well, actually, Kostos just asked me, so I'll be on with him. So maybe next week I'm going to go on with Patty for a little bit.
I got to tell you, that may have been the end of our friendship if you had gone on that show instead of the show. I think that would have been it. With all due respect to those guys, I think that may have been the end of our friendship.
Radio Wars. Go ahead, Kostos. Get into it. Start ripping.
Let me tell you something. As it concerns radio, I would win the Nobel Peace Prize as it concerns Radio Wars. I'm content to do my show and live my life, and that's it. I have 0.0% interest. And I know that there are people right now that want me to ask you questions about this. He doesn't want, can I speak for you? He doesn't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it. So let's talk some sports here. Should the New York Football Giants trade Dexter Lawrence, and why?
I can't wait to get your thoughts on this. I think if you put yourself in a position as an organization that you have to trade one of the best players at his position in the sport, you have already failed. And I thought one of the appealing things about bringing in Harbaugh is that this nonsense shouldn't happen. My thought was, and Lawrence got ripped last year, and I was one of the people who was ripping him. He had a down year. He's out of shape. I didn't love his attitude. I didn't love the way he answered things in postgame. It just seemed like he didn't care. Part of the appeal for Harbaugh would be he comes in and he knows better than anybody else how important a player of Dexter Lawrence caliber is, and he would get him motivated and he would take care of him and get the maximize Dexter Lawrence, get the best out of him. All Dexter Lawrence wants is to get paid. At least from my knowledge of it, it seems like he would be fine being here if he gets paid. Harbaugh clearly wants him on the team. I think they would be ridiculous. If you trade Dexter Lawrence, you have already failed, especially if you're talking about trying to win now. This is not what happened with the Jets with Quentin Williams and Sauce Gardner a year ago with their total rebuild. The Giants can win some games now, and they can do so with Dexter Lawrence leading that defense, so I think they have to keep him.
Does Seinfeld know this is your take? Because if not, like, I may slide into his DMs and see if I can, what's the word that they tell you in Curb Your Enthusiasm? It's not usurp. If I could, like, take the friendship away from you with Jerry. So it's not usurp, it's another word. But anyway, no, they got to trade him. Dude, all they do with him is lose. They lost 1 million games with him. Why can't they lose games without him? Get a first-round pick. Like, then it gives you the flexibility, right? To, at 5, maybe you take Sonny Styles. You come back, you take a receiver at the back end of the first round. I would love it. I absolutely think they should trade him.
Okay, now, so twofold. Do you think the Giants are going to be that good then this year? Forget Dexter Lawrence for a second. What's your trajectory for this team? What are the expectations?
I think they could win somewhere in the range of low end. So we're assuming Dart's health, right, for the whole season?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Low end 7, high end 10.
Okay, so you think then it's better to not punt this year, but trade him, maximize, continue to build for the future. What's the return then for Dexter Lawrence? I want a late. Well, I would hope. I would hope you get at least a 1. You got to get more than that. No, you're not replacing him.
They're not getting, but you're not going to get. He had a bad year last year.
All right, so what? He's still one of the best defensive tackles in the game. You don't think other teams will be knocking down the door? Teams will be.
I do. That's why I think they'll get a. I don't think they're going to get more than a first-round pick, more than 1-1. Like, we had Danny Parkins on the show last hour. He said to me, like, why do you think they wouldn't get more for him? Because he's not as good as Micah Parsons and Max Crosby. Like, sorry.
Do you know that I ran into Danny Parkins in the Bahamas this year on vacation?
This is like 7 degrees of Sal Licata here.
I know, because I don't know him, or I didn't know him, but I knew, like, obviously we're in the media, so we know a lot of mutual friends.
Great.
And you tell me
he's great. You're great, and like you two would get along famously.
So, dude, we were at the water park at the Bahamas hotel that we were staying at, whatever, and some guy comes up to me, and, you know, not to be like a jerk, but there are times where I do get recognized, so I have no idea. Like, do I know this person? Do I not? One person I saw that I used to work with at SNY, at first I thought she was just like, oh, some random fan. Here comes Parkins up to me, and he's like, hey, and he's got like, I'm telling you the truth. I don't know what, do I know you or are you just a fan? This is all off. What do you mean? This is all off the air? No. I mean, like someone you worked with on the air or off the air. Yeah, no, on air. Justine Ward. She used to work at SNY years ago. We're just walking. I'm with my wife and kid. She's with her husband and kid.
Is this a fan? It's very funny.
Sal, and I'm like, it took me a second to realize, I know her. So with Parkins, he was in a hat and glasses, and I had never met him before. So, and then he introduced himself, and I was like, oh, yeah, how are you? And, you know, we're at the same water park with our kids. Anyway, not that anybody cares about that story, but it is odd that we just randomly met for the first time in the Bahamas, and now we're both on the same show today. You bet. You never know what you're going to get. I do think when you talk about a player of his caliber, see, maybe I just value Dexter Lawrence as a player more than you do. If you think he's whatever down year, I'm thinking the last year was an aberration, and he just wasn't motivated for whatever reason. Okay. And ultimately, here's what I'll say. Ultimately, I trust Harbaugh to make the right decision. I think that's a spot with the Giants where I haven't been in quite some time.
I don't even know if I could go that far.
You don't. I know you didn't want him. You wanted Stefanski, right?
Yeah, I did. So Sal's a Falcons fan. We before you came on, I think they are so screwed this year. So screwed. And I love Stefanski.
Why are they screwed? Because the quarterback situation?
Well, the quarterback situation, like McGarry retired yesterday, and he's like, people will see that and be like, oh, right tackle retired, who cares? He's the left tackle, because both quarterbacks are lefties. And James Pierce might go to jail. I don't know that, but like, is he going to play this year? He had 10.5 sacks last year. They don't have a first-round pick. Like, the only saving grace could be that division's terrible. They're going to stink, dude.
As long as Matty Ice is running the show, give him a couple years to clean things up over there. What do you expect? Fontenot ran them into a ground. He ran them into the ground. With the head coaching hires they made, he was terrible picking skill position players. No, you knucklehead. You build inside out. I can't stand it. So I'm glad that Matty Ice is now taking over. I wouldn't expect big things from them this year. But anyway.
Knicks, Yankees, Mets, Giants, Jets draft. What is Sal Licata's hottest take as it concerns New York sports? And like, people will say to me like, oh, like, you're from New York, you do a lot of it. Like, there's a lot of New York sports stuff that's very interesting in the news right now. Sal, go ahead.
I mean, I don't know if there's a hot take with the baseball because it's so early on. I think both teams are going to be very good. I think the Yankees are easily winning the American League East, but is that a hot take? Probably not. I think the Yankees have a great chance to get back to the World Series in the American League. I think everybody else is coming down. I think the Yankees, by staying the same, got better. I think the Mets will be good, but how good? I don't know. Here's a hot take. If the Knicks match up with the Philadelphia 76ers in the first round, I think the Sixers are going to beat the Knicks. I'm down on the Knicks. I'm down on Mike Brown. I think the Sixers they're looking for payback if they could stay healthy. Obviously, it's a big if, but getting healthy now with Paul back, Maxey, Embiid, if those guys are healthy and they play the Knicks in the first round, I think the Knicks are going one and done. They will be beat by the Philadelphia 76ers.
I think the Knicks would win that series, but I do not think it would be easy, and I wouldn't be surprised if I won't go as far as you. I do think the Knicks would win the series, but it was something that would concern me greatly. So you mentioned earlier, we don't have a ton of time left here, but you mentioned earlier that, what was it, 2 years ago now? Sometimes I go back and I watch it, because so we saw Andrew Dice Clay a couple years ago. Where did we see him?
At Carnegie Hall.
Carnegie Hall,
yeah.
at the end of the show, he's like, you can record this because I'm going to do all the nursery rhymes, right? And there's a video of it everywhere. So I have video of my phone, and there's one where he does, I don't even remember what, I think it's Georgie Porgy Puddin' Pie, and I will not say how it goes, but it's insanely funny. And in the video, I am like wheezing laughing, and you could hear you laughing hysterically next to me. It was ridiculously funny. Be honest. I give you front row seats for Andrew Dice Clay or Jerry Seinfeld. Who are you taking?
I knew you were going to say that. I have to go Jerry.
You have to go Jerry.
I've seen them both, and dude, can you send me that video as a matter of fact? Because I don't have a video, so I need you to text that to me.
I will. It's really funny, and our laughing is funnier than even the joke that he tells, which is very funny.
We were dying laughing the whole night. Dice was great. I truly love them both, and they're both different, but I guess I've probably seen Dice more in my life. Plus, now I'm friends with Jerry. Although I consider myself somewhat friends with Dice, we hung out a little bit. I would go Jerry. I'm hoping to get maybe an invite from my pal Jerry to one of his shows once he's doing some shows here again.
I wish we had more time. You're the best. At Sal_Licata. Plug everything you've got coming up here in like 30 seconds.
The Sal Licata Show, available on YouTube, Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. Well, that's it. We're good. I appreciate that.
And Fox Sports Radio today, hosting us. Stugatz.
Yeah, well, I don't want to. I don't want to.
I'll do it. It's okay. They're a competitor. Okay. It's all right. It's okay. Like, I love you. We're friends. It's all good. Also, listen to BetMGM tonight instead. But Sal will be on the radio tonight. Yes, like Pat Boyle and Brad Evans have got you covered. You don't need Sal Licata. But just saying, Sal will be on the radio today. You're the best, my friend. I'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, Kostos. Appreciate it.
My friend Sal Licata joining me here on You Better You Bet. We'll take a break. On the other side, Knicks Celtics tonight at Madison Square Garden and what it will tell us about the